Welcome back to another episode of Discombobulated. How the heck are you? What's going on? I'm doing good. You're doing good. It's fucking cold out. I can see my fucking breath. Is it because you're so hot, Bob? Yeah, probably that's added to the fucking weather coming out of my breath. But dude, it's chilly season. It's go ahead and get fat and try to, as long as you can fit into the clothes, it doesn't matter how far you're pushing into those jeans or your hoodie or your beanie. If your beanie starts to get feel tight, you should slow down eating maybe. You're probably close to having an aneurysm. It looks like, okay, I had a pop-up come up. Does it mean we're still recording? We are! Dude, I learned how I'm so fucking bad at technology. Today, I tried to... Okay, here's how bad my phone is. My phone is backed up on storage, and it's like... And even though I have the iCloud or whatever, it's like, it's a problem. So the other day, I go to the iCloud store, okay? And I go to the iCloud... the Apple store, where they make those clouds. And so I go to the Apple store... And I'm like, hey, man, my phone's not... I got an iPhone, and it's newer than my old iPhone, and it works maybe worse than my last one. And my last one, holy fuck, dude. You would grab my phone, and it would, like, burn. It was like you were taking a pizza out of the oven. My phone was just... I would take a photo, and it might as well have gotten as hot as, like, those old-timey cameras when they would click it, and it was, like, one guy's job to just hold that thing that would flash. And it would pretty much be an explosion of a fire. He's like... And then everyone they took a photo of was just, like, standing with their lips straight, not smiling, not touching. They're like, you have to stand there. Don't move. Do not move. You will ruin the photo. And scare children who are looking through books in the future. I'm like, was everyone mad back then? Probably. But I take my phone in, and I'm like, dude, I have all these, my phone's not working, my headphones aren't working, like all this stuff. And the guy goes, yeah, man, that's the shit, dude. Like everyone there at Apple, there's definitely been a switch. You used to go into an Apple store, and someone's like, may I help you? And you're like, my phone's not working. And they get like a stretcher out, and they put your phone on that stretcher, and they like cart it back, and like someone sits you down and talks to you. And it's like, I understand that this is probably a rough time while you don't have your phone. And now you come in, and I walk inside, and there's so many people, and they got their blue Apple shirts rolled up. They got everyone's wearing short shorts. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? And this guy's like, what's up, dude? How's your fucking phone? Like, I swear, dude, this guy was about to cuss at me. He was just like, what's up, dude? How the fuck's going on? I'm like, what did you just say to me? And he's like, so what's going on with your phone, dude? I was like, oh, I'm having storage problems. He goes, got it. And then I watched him scroll in front of me. There's like 1,000 problems you can click on. And he clicks on it. He goes, I'll have that fixed in no time. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, they're probably 2 years away from taking this person's job away. And then I just walk in like how you walk into a McDonald's and you click in what's wrong with your phone. They make you pay beforehand probably, and then they probably can't help you. And so they sit me down at a table, and I felt like I was waiting for my mom to pick me up from fucking latchkey. I'm just sitting there just waiting, and all of a sudden this guy walks up, and he's like, what's up, dude? Lands a standing backflip, and he's like, how can I help you today? He's got like an in-ear monitor coming in case like they have, like they're like, they hit the fucking second tower again. Are you fucking serious? Like what do they do? I fucking hate them. And so I go into Apple, and I'm like, I'm sitting at that table. It feels like your mom's ready to pick you up. This guy's like, what's going on? And I show him, and he goes, probably should just get a new phone. I go, this is a new phone. He goes, you probably should get a newer one. I was like, is there any other option? He's like, not really. And I was like, well, I mean, couldn't I just back up my photos or whatever? The reason I'm coming here is because the last time I called in and someone said I should delete thousands of my photos. So I did. And then I was like, so they'll still be on my iCloud? And then there was like you ever have it when you're talking to someone online or like on the phone and it'll just cut out? That's them being like, I don't know how to help this person. And I'll just say it was like, whoops. So I call back and I'm like, hey, this lady just said that I should delete all my photos and now I can't find them. She said they would still be there. He's like, did you restart your phone and everything? And I was like, yes. He's like, no, those photos are gone forever. I was like, you lost thousands of my photos because I did that process that your like team said I should. And he was like, that sucks. here's like $110 gift certificate. And I was like, oh, it's just memories, dude. Thank you. I can't wait to buy AirPods that break again. So the guy couldn't help me, and I was like, what about my headphones? I can't like ever talk in them. He's like, well, you might as well just buy new ones because to like run the test. And I'm like, it's just all figured out. And it sucks that like you don't even feel cool being brand loyal. And it's like obvious that a fucking iPhone and Apple shit runs better than if you talk to someone and like everyone who still has an Android is like a person like when they made roofs real, people who had hay roofs were still like, it works pretty good. And then eventually they're just like, yeah, I had to get one. So now we have to get one, but you're not even happy that you have one. And I know that there's someone right now that's like, Bobby, all you gotta do is get a Google Drive and then you back up your photos to and then the back. So I've done all of it, and it confuses everyone I talk to. It confuses because I use it so poorly. I take when I wake up, I just yawn and start taking photos. I'll take a photo of something. I take 17 of them. That's what I do. That's what I do with my time. Oh, let me take a sip from my discombobulated mug. Dude, I put this mug up to my mug, and I literally feel like I am 1 year younger. Wow, you should buy one at bobbyjcox.com. Oh, man. Yeah, so my phone does not work. The other day I went to take a picture, and it didn't work, but it's slowly. I've never had my phone. My phone is literally so in the red on storage, and people look at it and they're like, yeah, it's because you have 46,000 emails. And I'm like, yeah, I'm busy. People look at my phone and get stressed, dude. They hate it. They're like, ah! But I'm not good at it. And so I need to do some shit with that. But like, it got so bad that this morning I was like, let me take a notes on what I need to do today. And my phone wouldn't even let me write down 3 words in it. I was like, download videos. Okay. I don't remember what I wrote. I wrote like I was trying to write stuff and it just went away. And I tried it again and then it just went away. And I was like, okay, well, my phone is currently an inactive player in my life. And then I did have a friend who tried to like fix it, and then they were like, well, it's not really working on my end either. I'm like, isn't it funny that no one can help? Then everyone's like, oh, let me help. I'm so good at this. Everyone is so fucking confident. They're the wild confidence in people. I have it too. I'm not separate from you. People will be like, my toilet's not working. I'm like, you try jiggling the handle? And everyone's like, oh my God, the only thing everyone tries? No, I didn't try that. Put on the glasses. I'm getting so mad. Okay. Yeah, it's fucking cold out. I got the heater on. I hope that doesn't mess up the sound too bad, but I got this fucking heater going and I feel a lot better. I'm going to have to put it inside. It's that time of year when you get fucking that stink heat. You turn your heat on and then it's like it burns everything that's inside the heater, like little critters. Sorry, it's just what happens. And it's like, I can't believe that happened. Oh, okay, cool. I bet you just slip yours on too. You don't go in there and just blow, be free before I turn on the heat. You just turn that fucker on and burn whatever inside. I mean, I have this little unit of heat on, and I turned it on and it smelled like I lit my hair on fire because there was probably a little bit of hair in there. And isn't hair, it's just old you, right? That's all hair is. Just what used to be you, just pooped out your little holes on your other parts of your body. That's not your butthole. It's just the fucking truth. But yeah, dude, it's getting so fucking cold out. And last night I actually got to make a fire. It was that cold. You guys ever get to make a fire when it's that cold? You ever make one of those fires inside someone's house? Because I was staying at someone's house and they have one of those where you like make a fire inside. And I woke up and I felt like I was in hell. Like, I woke up so sweaty, like, right next to this thing, and I was like, oh, she's like, yeah, sometimes it kind of really goes. I'm like, yeah, that's probably why they came up with, like, an HVAC system. Hold on, I gotta get some more parts of these trees outside to warm me up. I was like, holy fuck, that's how they heat their house. I have a buddy like that, too. He heats his house with, like, a wood-burning stove. And the house I grew up in, my mom would not even, we had candles that were purely decorative. There was a candle in my house that was in my house all my life. And then my mom had a box of stuff. She's like, I'm throwing this out unless you want anything. I'm like, you throwing out this candle? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I can't wait to burn it. And I'll be honest, she is so scared to burn it that I feel like if I burn it, it's going to fall over and then burn the house down. She's like, I told you. So I can't even light them. But God, that fucking fear of thinking of just like, and then we also left their house. And there was a fire going inside of it. And we were like, are you going to fix that? Because last night I had a little sleepover. There was someone I was talking to and we were going to hang out. You know, as grown adults, you know, it's pretty fun to hang out and spend the night at someone's house. And then out of nowhere, they'll be like, hey, do you mind if my little cousin spends the night? Oh, sure. How old are they? Are they an adult? Could we go to a bar and all have fun? I get to, meet someone. She's like, no, she's 12. I'm like, okay, well, there's a lot of things off the table. Sex probably, because you can't have, if someone's spending the night, you can't have even an accident. You can't, if you hear someone else have sex, it just sounds like it's sinning. Even if you're not religious, you're like, they're sinning in there. Dude, hearing sex is the worst thing ever. So that was right off the table. So instead we watched some scary movies. And I like that. I like that her little cousin was like at the age where we could at least watch a scary movie. Because scary movies, you can kind of, everyone's different. But like I saw scary movies too young. But it's like, it's not like you're watching whatever. But we watched Nope last night and ate edible cookie dough. And I tell you what, I feel like a guy who ate fucking edible cookie dough all last night. I ate it like a pint. I ate too much cookie dough and I woke up and today I just feel like I'm, I don't know. I feel like every once in a while, I'll just feel like my eyes are going to vibrate like into a backflip and just sit right back there. But I had way too much sugar and slept and I woke up and I feel like I'm getting over the flu. That's how I feel after I do all that shit. So, but it was fun, yeah, definitely. When you're like, oh, let's have an adult night, this will be fun. And then you're like, what do you like? Here's the thing. And I'm going to turn this into a bit. But like, so we woke up and we were eating breakfast and I was talking to her cousin. I won't say her name for privacy. And I was like, I don't have kids. And I also don't have kids in my life, but I'm not an idiot. Like I've done shows for kids. Like I do stand up and it's like G-rated material. And it's like, like they're adults. It's not like 5-year-olds, but it's like, 17, 18-year-olds. And whenever you do stand up for that, it's like a different thing, It's like, you're not going to be like dirt. Like I did shows for these kids that graduated high school. Like it was like they were seniors and I did a show and it's like you do it, it was a great show. You don't do anything dirty, don't cuss because why, it's just it feels weird to see another adult like, or when you're a kid to see like an adult cuss or whatever. So whatever. So I know how to talk to them, but I don't know what to like. I don't know what to bring up. Like, sometimes I'll be like, hey, have you seen the new Spider-Man? Because I've seen that. And they'll be like, yes. And I'm like, which Spider-Man's your favorite? You can kind of talk. I know a little enough, but we were hanging out like all night and then the next morning. And so in the morning, cooking breakfast, hanging out. And I woke up and my back hurt. And this is how not good I am at talking to kids. Technical difficulties. We are back. Oh man. Yeah, but so here's how bad I am with kids. This was the point. This is what I was talking about, and how much I don't know about the relatability. And it helps if you have kids, I would assume. But we were just we talk about Spider-Man. Talked about a lot of stuff, getting along. My friend was like, she was like, sometimes she's quiet, but she seems like she likes you. And I was like, oh, that's great. And then I woke up in the morning, my back hurt. And I was like, do you ever wake up with back pain? And she literally goes, what? She was like, yeah, maybe for me, my friends like were like beating each other up or something. And I was like, I can't. And I just had to call it out. I was like, that was so embarrassing. I was like, do you wake up with chronic back pain yet? She was like, I'm 12. I was like, that's hilarious. So, Bob's got a lot to learn. But don't we all have a lot to learn? I got to learn how my phone works. I got to learn how to get a mortgage get a house with it. Probably just not just the mortgage. I would like the house too. Bobby, you don't have two houses? That wasn't me as you. That was just me to me. Like when I was a kid, I definitely thought I'd have a couple of them by now, you know? One big one that's way bigger than that big one. Skate park outside. Tony Hawk room for Tony Hawk to sleep in when we're hanging out. Because he's my buddy and he can spend the night in my house anytime he wants. Floors made of trampolines. Go-gurts in the trash because I don't like that shit. What else did I want in my house when I was a kid? Yeah, you're like, I can't believe my parents don't have just like all their floors aren't made of like water. Like, I can't believe you can't just like swim from room to room. Mom and Dad, wouldn't that be cool? And you'd get mad at them because they wouldn't play with you. You're like, wouldn't that be cool? And they're like, our carpets would be wet. It would be different. It wouldn't be carpets. And I also think that the world made us think that we would get to do that at some point because on TV, they'd have all these shows for kids that was like, they did have like an HGTV for kids. They'd be like, whoa, Room Raiders or whatever. And they'd come in and they're like, what do you like? And this kid was like, I like basketball. And they would make his whole room like just, you know, basketball shit and fucking basketballs and basketballs over here. And his whole room would be like a basketball court. And his parents would be like, you really took down a load-bearing wall and built in, like, it's like the rest of his room is a full-size fucking basketball court. And I was like, I'm going to get that one day. They also had that. And then as you got older, you're like, okay, I guess they started to realize that wouldn't settle in. But they did have shows for like young adults. Like, remember Made on MTV? If you don't remember that, that was a show where basically someone's like, I want to be made. And you're like, you know, like I remember there was like, you know, this girl was like, I've always wanted to be a skateboarder. So they're like, we have 24 hours to make her into a skateboarder. And by the end of the day, she's literally landing like backside heel flips, backside cab flip. I'm just kidding. She can't. No, she like, you know, rides over some ramps in a competition and people see cameras. So they kind of clap for her. She doesn't like land like a 360 flip. But yeah, they always they give you hope. Television that's what television is. It's like, here's some hope for you. Oh, and speaking of television, you know, rest in peace. Chandler died. That's what most people are saying today. I know that the actor's name was Matthew Perry. He did die. Rest in peace. I watched Friends so much growing up because I had 5 channels. So it was either I watched Friends or the Antique Roadshow. The Antique Roadshow. Or I don't remember what was on at that time. But that was one of the things. And yes, he did die. I do not know it from. The reason I'm bringing it up is because it's sad. You know, it is sad when anyone dies. That's a very true thing. That, you know, even if you didn't know someone or whatever, there's no, you know, it'd be too easy to like try to make jokes or whatever. But I did see, I kept seeing posts and I had this like feeling that a friend, like one of the friends had died. And I kept seeing this thing on Instagram that was like the one where, like, because every episode of Friends, if you're not familiar, is like the one where Lois gets a cat or whatever. That's also not one of the characters. Phoebe gets a cat or whatever. And that's the name. That's how they name every episode. The one where blah. The one where this. And I kept seeing the one where they lose a friend, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know. So I look up. I go. I talked into my phone. That my phone that works really poorly right now and barely has any access to data to space on the. I don't know how phones work. So I talked into it, and I said, which Friends cast member died? Go. And then it took me to a quiz. And was like, which friend are you? And I was like, oh my God. The internet is definitely like, it's out of our hands now. There's zero humanity in it. It's just so far gone. And I was like, which friend died? And they're like, you're a Phoebe. Which friend are you? And I'm like, I'm definitely the dead friend. But that's how people are saying it. People are like so sad, like they feel like, you know, they knew him or whatever. And it's like, you do because you knew some of his work or whatever. So That is sad, but I tried to find it out. I wanted to be in the know, and I wanted to understand what was going on in the world today. And I looked it up, and it was very sad to see that he had died, and very sad to know that I'm not going to take a quiz to let me know that I am Gunther, the guy who makes coffee and employed Rachel and has a crush on her. And only because I did watch the show, I know that and I believe he's very big in a country that's not this one. Make sure this is still recording, because I sure had a problem recording earlier. Got to fix that. But yeah, that is very sad. And yeah, now it's that's kind of the age that some of my friends, since we're talking about friends, are at, is everyone's like, oh my God, did you hear this person, passed away? And it's like, yeah, that's what's going to happen. It's a very hard truth, but people are like blown away as we get older that people from like our generation, because I remember being a kid and people are like, oh my God, did you hear this person died? They're like, they were only however old. And you'd be like, that's so old. They're like, this person died and they were 26. You're like, I'll never be 26. There's a separate world when you're a kid. You go through a threshold where eventually you're like, oh, we're all kind of one. Usually it's like when you dabble in some psychedelics or something, you're like, oh, okay. But when you're a kid, you're like, all those other people have been here forever. I'm new, I'm cool, and they just have to go mow their lawns until they die. I still kind of think that. Oh, man. What else? Oh, yeah, this weekend I had there was like a last minute show that we kind of put together. It was the Don't Tell series was putting together, they're putting together a St. Louis leg of their shows. And you should look it up. Don't Tell. They have shows all across the country. You have to get on their emailing list, and they'll tell you like when the shows are, and then in other cities and in your city. And it's pretty cool. And we had a sold out show. It was me, my buddy Max Price, my buddy Mike Anthony, and Rafe Williams headlined it, and it was awesome. It was such a good show, and it was definitely cool because sometimes if you do like a last minute show, it feels last minute. But once we got there, dude, everyone was cool. The guy Jordan who was there running it was so nice. We had a space to like hang out before and after the show. Got to do stand up. And then I think this one girl up front was kind of hitting on me, but I had a friend who's like, it's like a friend, but sometimes, we kiss each other on the cheek. Kind of a friend. God, our label's just meant for pasta or what? Because I'll tell you this, a pasta sauce with no label on it could still be good pasta sauce, but a pasta sauce with the label on it, I don't like labels. So, yeah. So this girl was like kind of hitting on me, and she was cute, but then that other girl was hanging out with me at the bar, and I don't feel uncomfortable with that stuff, but the show was going on. But I would have liked if we could have all talked and said hello, and then maybe they kissed, and I would have been like, oh my gosh, they're kissing. Oh. Hey, I can dream, can't I? So, yeah, we had a show. Super fun. I fucking killed it. Fucking ate that shit up. I am in a phase of like I love doing stand-up. I love being a comic. I love before the show. I love after the show. But then I had a long drive after the show, so I think all the other comics went to a diner, and I didn't get to do that. And isn't that the best? If you're in a band or you're a comedian or you go to a work meeting, which probably is not as fun, but you just get to hang out afterwards and decompress with each other. And man, is that a good time? Went to an art showing. I don't know how to look at art. No, I realize no one knows how to look at art. You're just like, oh, there it is. But I actually, I'm better. I'm like, okay, I like this. I like the colors. I like what you've chosen to do with this. But then I'll start to hear some people talk about art, and I'm like, they're like, I love the intricate patterns of your thought bubble farts of... Obviously, I zone out when they're saying that. Like, literally, I watched some people start to talk about art, and I was literally like, do you think if I jumped hard enough, I could jump higher than Michael Jordan? You know what I mean? Like, if I put all my might into it, and he was, like, not trying hard, and then they'll come back and they'll be like, right. And I'm just like, oh, yeah. I drink so much coffee, I feel like I could shit out my eyeballs. Excuse me? Nothing. Oh, this was cool. So then we had a drive, and I was hanging out with my friend's cousin, 12 years of age. And I kind of just knew this, but like everyone kind of played. She had like her headphones in, and I turned on Turnstile. And then she was like, oh, is this Turnstile? Everybody likes Turnstile, dude. They are just so groovy and heavy. And then she was like, I like Metallica too, and I think Stranger Things did that. But I like that. They're kind of bringing back, these bands that kind of keep coming through. Like, they're like, even though time has passed, they come back around. I like that. I'm a big fan of that. Sleep with one eye open. That is impossible to sleep with one eye open till closed. Rough to not sleeping because one eye's open. My dad, when I was a kid, I remember he had a fucking Pontiac Grand Am, and I don't remember much about I have like some like flashes in and out, but when I was a kid, I'd be like, because my dad had me too young, so he wanted to be a cool dad, and I'd be like, burn rubber, and he'd probably be, had to be a couple drinks in his Grand Am, and I'm like in the back, still in a car seat, but with someone under the influence driving a vehicle, and we'd be like, burn rubber, and all my cousins who were in the car, they probably weren't buckled up, but I was, and just... And my dad would scream Metallica lyrics at me. That was how we bonded when I was a kid. My dad would scream like, because there's a part in if you're not familiar with Metallica where they basically put in a prayer that me and my family would do every night before we went to bed. He put that into a song. He's like, now I lay me down to sleep. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. Pray the Lord my soul to keep. And if I die before I wake. If I die before I wake. I pray the Lord my soul to pray the Lord my soul to hush little baby, don't say a word. My dad would say hush little Bobby. I'm like, this is my song. My dad should be looking at the wheel. My dad should have his hands on the wheel and looking at. I'm nervous because my dad's just singing and peeling out a car that's not really that fast, but he thinks is. Crashes on a fucking side street. Oh my God. Did anybody else have like one of those like dads that like, I was just remembering this because he like would speed off, and I don't remember when I was a kid, I don't remember getting in an accident, but one time he did get in an accident and he goes, this is your fault. Do you guys have dads like that? This is your fault. I thought it was. Can I talk to the officer when he gets here and tell him that and see what he thinks? Listen, this was my fault. I got a C in math class and I'm in 4th grade. My dad's a little pissed. And he backed up into a stoplight. And it's my bad. Bobby, this isn't a therapy session. Don't tell me what you go listen to a different podcast. Oh my God, on the way here. Oh my God. This girl was like, hey, do you want to listen to a spooky podcast? And I should have just said no. I've never listened to a story and been like, turn it off. I'm so fucking scared right now. Please, I can't handle it. I'm fucking scared. I can't listen to that. Please. We listened to it, and me and the 12-year-old made fun of it. Like, literally, by the time he took a break, I was like, this fucking sucks. She's like, what sucks about it? I'm like, everything. The narrator, how the guy was like, okay. I walked into my hotel room. I was really scared because everything stunk like sulfur. They must have had a leak in the kitchen. That was my guess. I put my key card in the door. It lit green. I grabbed the handle. I pushed it down the amount a handle goes down. Then I pushed in on the door. I opened the door. I closed the door. I let go of the door. I walk away from the door. What's that smell? Still sulfur? I look up. There's a werewolf in my room. It's taking a shit on my bed. I'm like, this is curious. I blink. It's actually my mother. My mother is now talking to me. I blink. She goes away. I go into the bathroom to take one of those shits where I just look at my iPhone. Start scrolling. I see a video of a little girl. She starts coming out of my iPhone. I blink. I'm in the tub. What has happened to time? The tub is my blood. This episode is sponsored by Stamps.com. And I was like, dude, turn this off. She's like, you're not creeped out? I go, I'm fucking bored out of my mind. This guy's describing horror to you. It's gotta be a movie, dude. And I know everyone says books are scary. I've never read one. I've never read a book. Not that scary, but I've never read a book. But I just narration and musicals. Like a book that's like trying to be scary or a musical. When I watch them, it's the most cringy thing ever. I had a perplexed feeling because the day before, Mark had yelled at me. He had never yelled at me before by the lake. We were normally just skipping stones. But this time, he yelled in a manner that spoke, "You are not my friend." And I felt it with every skip of the stone. God, oh! My roommate, she's like, I'm reading smut. And I'm like, God. Ugh. I thought smut was like a bunch of fucking. But apparently smut is like a book and then they have sex like one time. And I'm like, that is the dumbest book I've ever heard of. I haven't even read it, but I've kind of heard. I bet it's not good. I grabbed his penis. I turned it softly. He said, "It don't do that." I grabbed his dick. I twisted it. He said, "It doesn't do that." I said, "Okay." So I started flicking at it. He said, "What the hell's going on?" She said, "You don't like that?" He said, "Not really." So that day didn't go well. God, describing sex. I'm not even good at sexting. I don't even, oh God, those books, I don't want to read them. I placed his nuts in my palm. I thought, wow, this doesn't feel like nuts at all. This feels like if you put a hot bag of nuts in the microwave and then put that bag in your hand and be like, well, why did I do this? I don't know, but that's what nuts feel like. Oh my God, I'm having too much fun. I'm not reading smut. I'm not watching musicals, and I'm not listening to scary stories. Even when I was a kid, I don't think someone told me a scary story. The only thing I remember is that once we were trying as kids to like do, you remember light as a feather, stiff as a board? You would all put your hands underneath someone. Like they would lay on the ground and you're like, you can't joke around. And everyone goes, light as a feather, stiff as a board. Light as a feather, stiff as a board. And I guess the thing is that if you have like enough people underneath, you can actually lift them up. But we were like trying it, like my cousin who's like a fucking idiot was like, if you keep it there, they'll just float. So I'm like, we're doing it. I'm like, light as a feather, stiff as a board. I'm scared out of my mind. I'm like, can we stop doing this? And then my aunt knew we were fucking around. So she put like a sword, like we had like a fake sword at our house, like a kid's sword that's like plastic. She shoved it underneath and it hit one of the kids in the foot and scared the fuck out of us. Hilarious for the adults. But as the kids, I thought we were literally getting eaten by the devil. That's another thing too. There was another Halloween where my cousin, he always scared me, dude. He would always like hide and be like, ah! And I'm like, I hate this. But one time he's like, do you want to scare with me? And I was like, anything but getting scared. And so he goes, we'll stand in this closet. I don't know if you had this at your house going in, but like it was a closet. You opened it up and all the coats were there, but you could also move the coats and it could go underneath the stairs and gets like progressively smaller. So we had one of those, and my cousin's like, hide in here, and your mom's going to come downstairs, and you're going to scare her. And I was like, fuck yes. But I was so scared to even be a person who's going to scare someone. So I'm excited but nervous. And I swear to God, I don't remember how old I was, but I remember this feeling. I remember sitting there and I moved the coats and I kind of like slid the coats like this. And I was like, whew, here we go. I'm like, my older cousin wants me to start scaring with him. This is great. Then from behind me, I hear, and I swear I thought like the devil was behind me and was going to grab me and pull me to hell. And that's what happened. My dad was behind me, grabbed me, knocked all the coats off. Remind you, at this age, I don't know how old I was. We'll say 10, which means he's about 30. He's a little bit younger than me. Maybe let's not fucking go this hard on scaring a kid. Grabbed me and pulled me back. And I grab every coat, pull him down on the way. Because I thought I was getting dragged to hell. And he was like, ha, 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 isn't that funny? And then my mom was like, God damn it, Bob. He knocked all the coats over. And he's like, I'm drunk in a closet. Those were my Halloween memories. I also remember that our family did check for razor blades. They were like, because they thought people would put razor blades in cupcakes and shit like that. Story of the year reference. But people thought people would do that. And then you literally find out that they're just eating the candy they want. Okay, as kids, we want to check your finances, and we eat all the we take all the $100 bills. I don't fucking know. This is episode 21, which means this podcast is legally allowed to fucking drink, dude. Fucking get some drink on. But I will have to end it soon because I have to piss so bad it hurts. It really hurts. We were on the car the other day, and someone goes, I have to pee. And the driver goes, one of my friends goes, they're driving and they go, do you want me to stop? Who's ever brought up a thing that they didn't want to get handled by other people around them? You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't just like, my stomach doesn't feel good. To have empathy, I was like, man, I have to pee. I don't need everyone in the car to be like, yeah, I've had to pee before too. Like, I don't need reminisce. I need to piss. And then they go, well, I looked it up and we'll go to a gas station. And we start fucking passing gas stations. And I said, hey, what's up with all the not stopping for the piss I have to have out of my wiener? And they go, well, I picked a 5-star bathroom. I want you to have the best. And I was like, well, I don't want you to have piss in your car. So how about we stop looking it up like it's a hotel we're staying at? Because I've never been to a bathroom and thought, this deserves anything above a 1-star. I've never been in any bathroom and been like, this is nice. Every bathroom I go in, I'm like, did this used to be a cave? Isn't that like what is that Dane Cook joke where he's like, you go in the bathroom, why is everything fucking wet? Why is everything fucking wet? And it's like, I remember being a kid, I'm like, oh, it's exactly how it is. But God, I have to piss so bad. And you know what's fun is, I don't like having to piss really bad, but I do. Oh, I love a game of, I kind of got to piss. Can I make it through the night? And when your body literally goes, it's like, hey, Bobby, wake up. Hey. And you're like, huh? You're like, hey, I know you can barely stand because you have piss all the way down your legs. It's going to make your knees not be able to bend. And you have to piss so bad that it's just filling up inside you. But you have to somehow make it to the toilet. And you pee so bad that it hurts for a second. And then you cry like such an emotional, happy. Tears come out of your eyes because your body is so happy that you didn't piss all over yourself. That's how I feel right now. Oh, I'm feeling a little loopy, a little poopy, ready to go to a sloopy, take a sleep, go to bed, get some head. Now, while I go to sleep, that's illegal. Don't just suck my dick while I'm sleeping. You should ask if you can suck my dick. And if you were wondering, this episode is sponsored by bikes. Type in Bobby at your checkout to buy any bike, and there won't be a discount, but guess what? You'll have a bike, and I kind of inspired you to do that. And maybe they'll start to notice that everyone's typing in Bobby when they're buying bikes, and then bikes sponsor me. Which ones? I love all bikes. I love bicycles. I love motorbikes. I love e-bikes. Like P-bikes. What's a P-bike? A bike. It's a bike that you, while you're riding it, it runs on P, so you pee into it. So you kind of always keep riding. As long as you got a thermos with you, you could keep going forever. Or one of those hats that has water. Bobby, you have to stop to get water. Not if the top of it's just a bowl. And as you ride on whatever you're riding on bike-wise, you slurp that down. Just kind of keep going forever. But you have to pee into it. And it does not run on shit, so do not shit into it. Yes, we're working on where the shit goes in the shit and the piss bike. If you want to shit in the bike, get the shit bike. But again, don't piss in that one. What about the vomit bike? No one's asking for a fucking bike you throw up into to make it run. But everyone wants a piss bike. Could you imagine if they make piss bikes and they caught on? You would be complaining about how much piss costs. Oh, God, what the hell? Piss is $5 a gallon? All right. And you pull up a guy's like, hey, do you want me to fill that up for you? And he puts his dick into your tank and he just fills it up and he's just like, and then you pay him. The little thing goes ding, ding. What do you like when you pull up and he pees into it? And he's peeing into it and you're like, hey, I'm going to run inside. He's like, yeah, that's cool, man. Pees into it, shakes off his weenie. And then puts it back into that clicky thing and just stands there until someone else comes back up. You don't want to go to a shit gas station. Everyone just, you don't do that. You can go to a piss station. Don't go to a shit station. Ugh. And I can feel my legs moving. I know I'm gonna have to piss so bad because after I end this, I have a couple things I have to do before I can even go piss. And I'm gonna do that thing where I don't know how it is for a girl, but as a guy with a penis, as a person with a penis, when you have to pee, you start to do this like dance. It looks like for me, it looks like I'm dancing in a strobe light. You know how it looks like you're in a different spot each time? Like I literally go, ooh, ah, ooh. And something about doing that sloshes the pee around so you don't feel it as much pushing down on your. I don't know where I feel it the most. I guess I feel it in that it doesn't, I'm not holding it in with the tip of my penis, but it feels like that's right where it's sitting. This is the content I create. Good night.